ERP is like heart transplant, right? It's like, ERP is the heart of the company because they have a very specific need.
You're talking to everybody. Welcome, Vista.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. I just want to talk about, obviously, your company, which is the Partner of the Year. Mm-hmm. So congratulations on being Partner of the Year. Tell me about Bista.
So Bista Solutions, we've been around for a long time. We were founded in 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A long time back. Is strangely, maybe it might have been the best or the worst time to found a company, because if that was during the recession at that time.
So you were buying houses and companies that are now worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So essentially, we started the premise of Bista was to implement open source software, because we were fed up of companies charging an insane amount of money for enterprise software and it failing everywhere, right? So companies wasting a lot of money on enterprise applications. So we started doing CRM and HR and other software, open source software implementing. And then I stumbled upon, it used to be called Open ERP.
Yes.
At that time. And even before that, I guess, Tiny ERP. So around 2010 or 11 timeframe, I came across Open ERP, Odoo, and I'm like, wow, this is doing everything, right? It had a CRM, it had an HR, it had an even accounting package, everything to manage your inventory, and I was just stunned by what we could do with Odoo. So we became partners of Odoo in 2012. We were one of probably the first ones, one of the few first partners in North America.
Yeah. And what version were we on at that point?
That was 5. It used to be
wow.
version
You've seen
Open
it all.
ERP version 5. I think 5 was just released, and it's been an amazing journey for us. We've seen Open ERP evolve to, of course, Odoo, and at that point of time, it used to be something called like a desktop GTK version, which was like a desktop. It was not on the web, and we were through this phase when Odoo launched the web version 8, and so on, and seen it transformed. And we've been really happy with the growth of Odoo.
Great.
Yeah, it's been amazing for us.
Now, since 2007 and then 2012, how has your team grown during that time?
It was just the two of us who when we founded the company. Right now we are 300 of us. So we are in 4 different countries.
Okay.
We have presence in 4 different countries. And the initial years was a little bit of struggle, because if you know that 2007 and 8 was the subprime mortgage crisis. So the economy was really bad. The business was difficult to get, and people were getting fired and all of that stuff. But it helped us show the value of Odoo to customers, right? Because people were cost sensitive, and Odoo being open source at that time, there was only one edition, a community edition, and then we would sell Odoo's what was called as a warranty. Odoo would sell a warranty package, right? With the community edition. So we, going out there, convincing customers like, hey, you need this community edition and warranty, and this is the value you get out of it. This is the cost savings. So it was good in a way that it gave us time to stabilize and kind of fine-tune our practice to what people need. And it's been a very good learning curve for us. We've worked with many customers in industries, and I tell my team, right, you learn the most from customers, because they are the ones who tell you what they need, right? So it has to be customer-driven. So it's been an amazing journey. The initial years was kind of slow and steady growth, but after Odoo picked up, like we also picked up, and we are
300 people.
Yeah.
So what kind of teams come out of 300 people?
So it's a combination. A lot of our people. So I am of the opinion that everyone, even if it's a developer sitting and creating a module, needs to understand business. Right, so we make sure that all our people is what we call as techno-functional. So even if they are technical, they understand the functional side of it. Because unless you understand business, you cannot be good at ERPs, right? But we have a good mix of people who are on site. So we are. I was talking to our Odoo partner manager, Carolina Wilfried, the other day, and was telling them that we have we are presence in 11 cities in North America.
Wow.
So we have a lot of people in each city, and we are able to cater to the local customers like Buffalo. Right? We have somebody here in New Jersey, and 11 such major cities. We have our team. We're not very sales focused company because we believe that if we do a good job, the sales will come to us.
Yeah, people will come to you. Yeah.
So we're not very salesy. All our team are very hands-on, implementation focused.
Okay, and so you were speaking a little bit to the industries. Is there a specific industry that you work with? Are you in many different verticals, and has that changed over the years?
Yeah, so we work with many industries, and what we have done is we have teams which with expertise in certain verticals, right?
Okay.
So we have some of our very popular verticals which we are very strong is in the medical device software. So companies which make medical devices, because they have a very specific need. Right. So we have created a team, right, which is specialized to that. We also do machine manufacturing. So people who make equipments, companies who produce these equipments, right? So we have a separate team which work on that. We work in arms and ammunition industry, as I said, HIPAA compliant industry, and several industries. Our strategy is to form dedicated teams for industry.
Okay.
Promotional product is one industry which we are very good at, and I'm happy that Odoo just launched their vertical. Fabian launched in this keynote. I'm very happy about that because we are looking forward. We have very strong vertical expertise, and we're looking forward to leveraging that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So with these different teams, and it might be different per team, but what does your implementation methodology look like?
So so when customers come to a partner like us, they are expecting a more tailored approach. Right. So we do not have a one-size-fit-all approach, and that's why I guess that's the value of a partner,
right?
Which is we tailor based on the size of the company. One essential ingredients which I try to tell our customers is they need to make sure the ERP project, the ERP or the digital transformation implementation is driven top down, and there is commitment from the executive team, right? So we kind of insist to our customers, hey, you need to have one person, or maybe it could be a team based on the size of the company. It could be one individual who is responsible from your side, who we are coordinating with. Of course, we work with individual functional people in the company, but we need one person who's part of their job is the ERP implementation, right?
Someone who's as invested as you are.
Exactly. So that's what we do, and based on the size of the company, we might have we obviously have a project manager, but in our case, a project manager is somebody who actually understands that vertical, understands Odoo business, and it's not just somebody allocating tasks to people, right? Actually providing value to customers. So we have a project manager, we have business analysts who are specialized in that vertical. Of course, we have a team of quality analysts who make sure that the final product which we have configured, set up, meets the need of the customer, right? So we do make sure we have proper QA testing before we give it for UAT, user acceptance testing, to our customers. Of course, we have developers, but as I said, we want all our developers are techno-functional, right? Yeah. They understand business. So that's how our team size for a project might vary from as small as 3 people. We have sometimes a team of 10 people doing
that's a
one
lot of
project.
resources you're able
Yes.
to dedicate to a project, which is wonderful.
Yes.
Speaking of size and location, do you find that the companies you work with are small to medium-sized businesses? Have you moved into like the mid-market corporate space? And do you find that most of your customers are far away from you or in person?
It's a good question because Odoo is growing by leaps and bounds, and we've seen up. Of course, we're very strong in small to medium size, but we've worked with some really big names in the industry. Like we've worked with even Fortune 1000 companies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've worked with Fortune 1000 companies using Odoo. So there is a lot of interest in the market for different size of companies.
I mean, talk about a top-down approach with a
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
that size
Yeah.
too. You're
Yeah.
talking to everybody.
Yeah, it is complicated. Of course, it's complicated. And the advantage with us is we're able, because we're a bigger size, we can scale up and down based on the requirements of the customers. We can quickly ramp up a team of experts for implementation. And then as we have implemented, we move to support phase. We can ramp down the team, right? So that's one advantage which we have.
And does your team often travel to be on site?
Yes. So ERP, this was very challenging during the COVID period. So we tried to manage, but it is important to have that people connect because you're transforming. ERP is like a heart transplant, right? It's like ERP is the heart of the company, running the entire company, and you have to be in person. So what we do is we do something called a business analysis at the beginning of the project, where we sit with the team, we try to understand what are their pain points, what are the current systems, what are they looking for in Odoo.
What drives the change?
And then this in-person meeting is really important because it's not just the features, it's because you're going to be working with them for the next few months and implementing, and through the ups and downs, because there are always challenges, right? So it's important to get that connect. And that's the advantage we have is we have presence in 11 cities, right? So like Atlanta, we have an office in Atlanta. I'm based out of Dallas, but we have an office in Atlanta. And that region, we get a lot of customers just because we are there, right? They know that, okay, we don't want you to come to our office every day, but we know you are there if we need it, right? So of course, our implementation is we have a huge personal touch during our implementation.
Wow.
Yep.
And then speaking of your partner journey, what have been the best parts of the partner ecosystem at Odoo for you guys?
I must say, and this is especially for new partners, that you have to work closely with your partner manager, right? And we've worked with an amazing team of partners. They are really partner managers. Our partner managers have been so helpful in helping us grow. When we work with a customer, right, they jump onto call. They're always available, right? They're always hey, involve us. They're pushing us, just include us right from the day one. And it is really helpful from the customer's perspective. It's kind of a marriage, right? They're trying to implement Odoo, trying to select the best software to run their business, right? And when we as a partner come in and somebody from Odoo comes in to represent Odoo, it makes a big difference. It really helps build their confidence. We've just had amazing partner manager. Carolina is there. We've Wilfried, Edward now. We've been lucky to have really good partner managers to work with us. They're very aggressive. Actually, our team really, our sales team, they work so well. We really enjoy working with them. It's like a good team effort.
So besides having a great partner manager, because we'll do that on our, we got you. Is there any other advice you would give to budding partners or anyone who's interested in coming into this?
So what I would say is, because I came from the implementation background, I might be biased, but I think focusing on implementation, right? Making sure you're successful with your projects. Start small, even if it is if you are doing 2 projects or 5 projects, start small, focus on delivering. And once you have, and one thing is try to get a case study or a video testimonial from a customer. Like if you go on our website, we have customers who agreed to come on video, come on camera, and talk about the implementation. And even more so, we have a lot of case studies with us. So try to get some case studies, reference testimonials. I think you can also work with Odoo. Like Odoo has a page where you can do a joint case studies. Some of our case studies is published on the Odoo page.
Yes.
Right? So leverage that, because you can, if you're on Odoo's page and people say search for a particular keyword and industry which you implemented, they will go and find you. Right? So that's why I say focus on the implementation, because you will get marketing, you will get sales out of successful implementations.
Wow. And then is there something, specific to the way Bista Solutions does their implementation that kind of you would like to touch on? Anything that is, specific to you guys, anything that you are looking forward to in the new year to start doing?
So one thing we learned, right, along the way is to have a dedicated team, right? Which means when we do a project, the same team, right from business analysis. Sometimes some partners, they have a separate team which does the business analysis and they hand over to a project implementation team. It has not worked out for us. A different
developer, a different engineer, a different...
So the you lose the continuity, right? So we try to make sure the business analyst stays on, or the project manager stays on throughout the duration of the project. That is something which has worked really good for us, which I would recommend. Of course, other people might have other ways of doing it. I'm not precluding anything. But that has worked out, and it kind of makes sense. Looking forward, your other question was
looking forward into 2024.
What are we looking forward for 2024? We are, of course, looking forward to a lot of growth. We just set up an office in Calgary, in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking to grow in the Canadian region as well. We're looking forward to the new Odoo 17. Especially, I'm really excited about the verticals, right? Because Odoo never had, Odoo was like, it would provide these building blocks, right? Very strong building blocks, and you could make it for any vertical. Now, if Odoo has its own tweaked, own verticals, I think there's a big value. A lot of other ERPs had a vertical focus. So that is something which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be a big game changer in attracting some of the bigger customers, the verticals.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, then speaking to that, my question would be, is there anything, if you were designing version 18 next year, is there anything that you would add? Is there any feature you would love to have?
That's a good question. And, we give our feedback to our Odoo contact, and we talk to Fabrice also. When you go to Belgium, Fabien is all ears. That's really one of the good thing about coming from this open source background is, listening to the community, right?
Right. And people love their dark mode and their WhatsApp connectors. What's your dark mode WhatsApp connector?
I think from my perspective, more inbuilt regulatory compliance. So what I mean by that, so as we grow, right, as we work with companies, we have worked with startups, right? Companies which raised fund, and we've seen them grow from 0 to 100 million in revenue.
Wow.
What happens is after that, they start thinking about, hey, I want to go public, right? I want to list in the stock markets. And when you go to public, you need some compliances out of your software. So for instance, there's something called SOX compliance in the US. So if you want to be listed in the stock market, that Sarbanes-Oxley, or it's called compliance. So you need to be that compliant, right? So if Odoo can be SOX compliant, right, or have inbuilt workflows for SOX compliance and any other regulatory compliance, I think that is the next step for us and Odoo to grow into these bigger companies which are listed on the stock markets.
It's interesting you say that, because earlier you had talked about doing implementations for medical device sales. And immediately what came to my mind is like your HIPAA compliance, right, or your, just any kind of maybe government compliance for other hardware. And so I had that in my head. And how do you kind of approach compliance requirements now without that extra step?
So for HIPAA, like if you search for HIPAA compliance, we're probably the best company which does HIPAA compliance. We have done HIPAA compliant. There's a lot of, and I had a talk about HIPAA compliance also, about what is needed. It was in one of the Odoo events about what is needed to make Odoo HIPAA compliant. So there are certain things you need to do at Odoo level, at the infrastructure level, administrative, and then it's complicated, but you can reach HIPAA compliance with Odoo. There's also something called ITAR compliance, ITAR in the US.
I've worked with companies that needed to be ITAR compliant.
We've done ITAR compliance, and we've done ITAR compliance. The challenge with SOX compliance, it's more accounting related, and it has to be more, because the HIPAA and ITAR it involves a little bit of Odoo, but it's also about your processes, it's about your infrastructure, about ensuring that you have traceability, backups.
Right. It's not about the software being compliant, it's how you use it that makes it compliant. Yeah.
You get it. But SOX compliance is different because it is at the accounting level, and it needs to be from within the software. Right? So I think we've given feedback. I think for the next level, if you ask me, version 18, I would like to have SOX compliance as an option.
Great. Yeah. Well, do you think you'll be going to OXP next year?
Yes, of course.
Every year?
We love it. Yeah, we love it there.
Well, then let's hope that FFP's watching this video. You'll have a fun reason to go.
You just need to have a lot more clicks, right? So it comes in as radar.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. I'm from Dallas, so yeah.
Oh, this is cold. This is cold for you.